Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Open Source Entrepreneur. I am Casey Green. This is my beloved co-host and dear friend, Jimmy Norlander. Jimmy, we are super excited for our guest tonight and excited to be having another live podcast. Like, not a lot of people are doing this, and they're going to soon see why, because Jimmy and I say some ridiculous things and we can't take it back.
I think that's fair enough. I mean, we've had cameras fall down, battery
Multiple times.
drop calls, frozen frozen moments, and so it is
It
life.
is life. It is what it is. But we really enjoy doing it. Not only does it allow us to be able to open up our entrepreneurs that we bring on to new audiences, but it's just a lot of fun for us. We get to learn and they get to share what they're passionate about. And tonight's guest is no exception to that. And we'll get to Vanessa here in just a minute. But Jimmy, first, you know that I have to always come at you with our take it or leave it. So I don't know if you heard about what Bill Gates was talking about AI. I'm going to read this here
Okay.
so that I don't mess it up. But he was recently on the Jimmy Fallon on the NBC's Tonight Show, and he said this. He said, let me just start here. He said, during a recent interview with the comedian Jimmy Fallon on NBC's The Tonight Show, the Microsoft co-founder described a future where humans are no longer necessary for most things because AI technology will readily perform tasks that currently require specialized human skills. Today's expertise in fields such as medicine and education remains rare, Gates said, adding that those are areas depend on a great doctor or a great teacher. But over the next decade, great medical advice and great tutoring will become free and commonplace, Gates said. So he's saying this is all going to happen in 10 years or less. So you and I have had some conversations about AI. Are in 10 years or less, Jimmy, are you taking or leaving it? Are things going to be good enough that AI can replace doctors?
Oh, yes. If 10 years, I think max is going to happen.
Okay.
You think, look how fast things are happening right now. I was reading a little article on um, one of Elon Musk's robots.
Okay.
It's cooking. It's cooking to like the perfect thing.
All
And
right.
they said within a couple years, like 3 to 5 years, it'll be able to babysit, it'll be able to cook, it'll be able to clean. And so I think 10 years max,
So,
like robots will be here.
So this brings up my next question then. Like, what are you most excited about for it? Like, what's the thing you're hiring AI to do first for you? Because I know what I'm doing. Like, what's the first thing you have come to your mind when you're like, AI is definitely going to replace this for me?
Back massages.
Okay, I did not go to back
Just kidding.
massages. I did
No,
not go there. But good on you.
no, I don't know. There's so many things because I mean, I'm looking at AI right now for my own practice, with software, with Google. You have the AI assistant, but
Yeah, but get
I
nerdy
still like I
for a
still like the
second.
human touch.
Get nerdy for a second. I'll tell you where I go automatically. I go
Let's
to
hear.
the cartoon, The Jetsons, with the housemaid that was like I want a housemaid. You show up, clean my house all the time. I would absolutely love that. Take back like an hour, 90 minutes of my week. Totally. That's what I'm
See,
doing. Made.
I don't care. My wife is going to be the one who's going to be more excited about it than I am.
Yeah,
Like I have
definitely.
this magical basket where dirty clothes are in it, and then every week they magically just end up being into my nice and folded into my dresser.
Everybody should definitely have one of those magical baskets. Killing me. All right, Jimmy, let's move on. So you're taking it. AI, 10 years, we're gonna have some amazing things. I agree. It's growing exponentially fast. And so I believe that a lot of really cool things are gonna happen in the next 10 years. The quote of the week that I have for you this week, Jimmy, is really right out of a playbook for you. I'm reading a book currently. What is it called? The 13 Things. This is it. It's a really great book. I recommend it. 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do by Amy Morin. There was a quote in there that said, the section I'm reading is about self-pity and how people drown themselves in self-pity. And the quote says, self-pity is easily the most destructive of the non-pharmaceutical narcotics. It is addictive, gives momentary pleasure, and separates the victim from reality. So John Gardner said that. What are your thoughts on that, Jimmy?
Oh, for sure. If you're just being self-pity, you're not getting anything done. I mean, name one person that got a lot of things done, but they're being self-pity about it the whole time. And
Yeah,
did it say it's addictive? Is that what it
it
said?
does.
Yeah.
It says it's addictive, gives momentary pleasure, and separates the victim from reality.
Yep. I agree with that because I mean, self-pity is like sometimes it's everyone else's fault except your own.
Yeah, it's victimhood, right? And you and I talked about this, I don't know, maybe last week. People really get endorphins and a high from playing the victim. how many people would move on quicker and faster if they realize that they are in a self-pity type mentality and that they're being the victim, but they actually secretly enjoy being the victim.
Oh, it's contagious.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like they don't know if they're not the victim, they're so used to being it, they just don't know how to respond.
Yeah.
It's foreign to them.
Yep. Which is I get it. I understand why people feel that way, especially people with deep seated trauma, people who've been through accidents, whatever. But it is something that once, and this is where you go to train professionals like Jimmy. Once you're on the other side of that, it's amazing how things can open up for you and how much better and whole you can be. So this is like an early plug. If you guys are struggling, if you find yourself in a self pity rut, make sure you make an appointment with Desert Counseling and go see Jimmy and his friends. I'll take care of you. Okay.
Gracias.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm super excited for this, Jimmy. We're not going to delay any longer. So I'm going to read this incredibly massive bio and beautifully written bio for our guest tonight. So this is Vanessa. She's a seasoned expert in personal law, injury law, with over 16 years of experience in the field. 5 years ago, Vanessa founded the Injury Law Consultants, Inc., a consulting practice dedicated to helping law firms successfully integrate personal injury law into their practice or optimize specific areas of needs. Through strategic guidance, streamlined processes, and industry insight, Vanessa has assisted numerous firms in strengthening their case management, improving client relations, and maximizing efficiency and case settlement values. Building a deep understanding of the mid-legal landscape, Vanessa recently launched Lien Care Providers, a mid-legal funding company designed to serve as a liaison between law firms, healthcare providers, and injured patients. This venture focuses on securing high-quality patient care through reputable clinics while ensuring a seamless collaboration. Whew, that's a lot to go on. I'm going to keep going. Hang on. I see her in the waiting room. I'm going to invite her to be on. With a passion for advocacy, innovation, and bridging the gap between legal and medical professionals, Vanessa continues to be a trusted resource in the personal injury industry, helping law firms and providers navigate the complexities of injury cases with expertise, integrity, while guiding injured clients. So hopefully we
Love
have
it.
her coming on. I invited her. Let's see if she comes on. She on? Oh, it
Oh,
looks like it wants to work.
hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
There we
Vanessa.
go,
Hey,
Vanessa.
it
Hi, guys.
works. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Fantastic. We are absolutely thrilled to have you on. And I don't know if you know this, but this is like back-to-back weeks of attorneys for us. So this, Jimmy and I are about to learn even more about what's going on in the world of like personal injury. And really, let's be honest, like we both could use it.
Yeah.
We need to bring a little bit
Yeah.
of like grace and elegance to the podcast.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, we are thrilled to have you with us. For those who are just joining with us, give us a little bit of background on how you got into being an attorney. What drove that for you? Why did you go down this route? My brother's an attorney. Sometimes I look at him like, you're completely crazy. You're asinine. I'm way more on the creative side of things, and he doesn't get that side of it. So tell me, why did you head down like the law field?
So,
Oh, she got
She
lost.
got lost. That's all right. We'll bring her back.
And so
Don't worry.
I'm gonna correct. So she's not an attorney, but she works with tons of attorneys.
We'll get that cleared up when we come back. Don't worry. We see you. It's okay. I'll invite you again. Let's see if she comes back.
yeah.
There we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. See, this is how
Oh my gosh,
you,
you guys kicked me
no,
out.
we didn't get you. This is how you know it's live. This is how you know it's good.
Yes, okay. I heard your question and then I got booted out, but I'm not an attorney.
That's what Jimmy just
So
clarified.
yes, okay. Yeah, I'm not an attorney. But my background, so I started in personal injury law back in 2009, and I
Okay.
kind of just worked my way up. So I started literally from like the bottom. It felt like a downgrade with the job that I took. Used to do insurance before.
Okay.
So anyways, got into that, moved up to paralegal work, did that for many, many years. And I've truly always enjoyed like helping injured clients during one of the most difficult times of their lives, right?
Yeah.
You feel like honestly like an angel on earth when you're able to give back, you're able to guide them, you're able to be there for them, and help them navigate the whole way. I know some people are like, oh, the money. I'm like, if you don't focus on that, you need to focus on clients, right? The clients, what
Yes.
they're going through, how it affects their homes. I had some really impactful situations where we had clients that sometimes I never met because they were wrongful death cases. Other situations where, the clients might end up quadriplegic or just terrible, terrible situations. So you build a rapport with the family and it feels really, really good to be there for them. Now, what drove me into, I guess, continuing is that the fulfillment and being able to help people, but also just helping them build their case as well. So on the legal side, it's really, really important to know what you're doing in order to make sure it's beneficial for the client in the long run.
Yeah. And I love that about what you're saying. You are a massive advocate. So I assume I haven't got a chance to meet you face to face, but you have
Yeah,
such a big heart because you really have to have a desire to serve people.
right.
And certainly, yes, maybe the money is really great, and we can talk about that later on.
Yeah.
But what we've learned about Jimmy and I being entrepreneurs is that when you set out with the mission to help people, the
Mm-hmm.
universe will provide it in such a beautiful way that money doesn't even become a thing for you because you're so focused on the goal of helping people get better, heal, and really, if you've been injured, going through this time and having an advocate on your side is massive.
Oh yeah. Huge. It makes a huge, huge difference. I mean, it goes a long ways. I have a lot of clients that I'm still friends with till this day, and I helped or worked on their case years ago. Because again, you build that rapport, you're there for them in like one of the most vulnerable times of their life. It's pretty tragic what you see in the industry.
Yeah, for sure. So you started in this about 16 years ago, you said, give
Yeah,
or take?
I know, right? I'm too young to have
Yeah,
started 16 years ago.
congratulations. Like I'm not aging gracefully, so good on you. Like you look amazing. But 16 years ago, you said, okay, I have room and space in my heart to be able to go out and help people, and I want to make a difference. I want to make an impact. Like I believe most entrepreneurs want to do that. And so you started the injury law consultants.
Well, I started at a law firm as a paralegal.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this came later.
Okay. Then you moved on to the injury law consultants.
Yeah.
And now you kind of have another venture, right? The
Yes.
the Lien Care Providers.
Yes.
Talk to us about what the Lien Care Providers is because you're bridging a really neat gap
Hmm.
in between a lot of different professions. Explain to people what that is and how that really is impactful in helping people.
Okay. So Lien Care Providers, we're a med legal funding company, and we're a liaison between the law firm, the provider, and the injured client. And so what we do is we help facilitate treatment. Now, the nice thing is because I know I've been in the industry for so long, I have good relationships with many local law firms. I've been working with these doctors, a lot of them for the same amount of time that I've been in the industry. There's other new, we have surgeons that we're adding on and other facilities that I think have done a wonderful, exceptional job in the industry, the medical industry. So we're looking for top tier, like who gives the best customer service, who truly cares about patient care and their well-being and them getting better. Those are the people we want on our network and that have the same values and drive as we do, right? Which is patient care. So we were able to, we started this company and we're able to bridge that gap between kind of taking some of the stress off of the law firms in being able to take care of the treatment, making sure that clients are staying on top of their treatment, that they're getting better, right? Because sometimes they kind of fall off. It's stressful. It's like you have your job, you have your children, you have a million things, and then to still try to get to all of these appointments, it does get hectic. So we just want to make sure that they know we're there for them, we're on top of the treatment, we're getting them taken care of, but also informing the law firms like, hey, this is the treatment plan, here's the providers that we have, and getting them, getting all of that coordinated. We get the bills and the records, send that to the law firms and kind of just break it down. Like maybe they're surgical, maybe they need imaging, the treatment's not working out, they need something more aggressive, things like that. So patient care, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah, and I love that. So this seems like a very niche service that I hadn't heard of before. How do people find a service like yours or find you if they're in need of it? How does that all kind of come about?
So for the consulting side, lawyers that need help or want to get into the personal injury space, which I've done both, right? I've done one. I was actually visiting one of the large law firms today, and they have expanded incredibly in the last almost 5 years.
Okay.
It's literally amazing. You know who I'm talking about, Jimmy. But
Whoa,
and
secrets, no
so
secrets.
it's not a
Secrets are no
secret. It's
fun.
Garcia Law. I truly have like, they have such a special place in my heart because they were actually my first law firm that I did in-house consulting for
Oh,
back in 2020. And it was just like a little tiny, small little office in Taylorsville. And within a couple months, it was growing and growing. So then he rented the downstairs and then it grew more. And he's like, I need to buy a building. So he bought a building, bought some more space, bought land, built a 10,000 square foot building where they are now operating out of just within the last few weeks. And
that's
so
awesome.
he would, yeah, it's incredible. So he was my first in-house client. And it was really cool because he was doing immigration and criminal prior to,
Okay.
wanted to implement PI, went solo, and within like a few weeks, we started working together, implementing that and seeing the results of where they are at today. I mean, I can't say numbers,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's incredible. It's incredible from a business standpoint, but also the reach and the level of service that they are giving to the clients and the community. And like I always say, clients have one case, they have one body, they have one shot, and you got to make it right, you know? You have to. So it's nice seeing that, like the results of implementing that and then seeing it in full effect this till this day. It's incredible.
Yeah. I love that. So I'm intrigued to know what one of the biggest challenges is as you're working kind of through personal injury cases and handling all these different things. How do you help kind of mitigate what are some of the biggest challenges really law firms face when handling personal injury cases? And how do you help them overcome some of those big issues that they have?
Yeah, I would say like on the consulting side, I do a lot of out-of-state educational training, and so then I bring it back and implement some stuff here. Now, it varies, right? From state to state, the laws are very different. However, like the strategy, it's very similar. I mean, these are injured clients. The treatment should be, you kind of have an idea of the way it's supposed to go. And so I would say some of the challenges that I've seen out there and that I've been hired for, like how do you build a case? How do you negotiate? How do you make it beneficial for the client in the end, right? It's not all
Yes.
about, okay, they've suffered, they've gone through all of this, okay, and how do you get justice? Well, um, I mean, it's a compensation in our industry, right? That's what we can do is get them a compensation from the insurance. And so knowing how to build a case, making sure the client's taken care of, just kind of helping them navigate that, and then knowing case value. I think there's a huge disconnect in knowing what the case is worth and letting the insurance tell us what it's worth when no, they don't tell us what it's worth. We will tell you what it's worth because we know what our client's been through. We know how it's affected them, how it's affected their household, their family, their career, every single aspect of their life, and also what's that going to look like in the future for them. So being able to paint that picture and getting the law firms to understand like how important it is to really, I guess, just give that message to the insurance to put value in the claim. That other things like liability, I've gotten liability overturned by knowing how to read the UDOT system, which is a little confusing, but with some help from an expert, it's really nice. It's very helpful. We got a situation. This client, they were blaming him. They had completely blamed him, put him 100% at fault, and we wanted to believe him. We got the data. We were able to see the conflict of like we call them the violator, right? Like the red light violator. And so anyways, we sent that into the insurance. Turns out they were like, okay, you're right, after they investigated a lot. Came back and said, we accept 100% liability. And with that, he's 19 years old. He's surgical now. If it's kind of scary because if people aren't educated in this, they would have turned the case away, and or they would have because it was denied, they would have wanted to proceed with litigation, which is very costly. It's time consuming, and with these kind of skills and knowledge, you're able to avoid all of that, which is really nice. So I love educating. I love educating firms and just sharing the knowledge. It's not for me, but it's for the community, right? It's for these injured clients, for their cases, and then also the law firms win too. I mean, that's their revenue that's coming in, so it's a win all around. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I
So
think
you're
she's missing out on a point of that too. How amazing she is, where she went at the very beginning, is she's that middle person. You know, she's the one that's connecting that patient, that client to the surgeon,
Hmm.
to the chiropractors, to the MRI. Like Vanessa is that key person that makes sure that case stays solid, so they're able to get that compensation. Because there's a lot of people that are like, do you know what? You're not at, it looks like you were at fault. This is going to take a lot of
Hmm.
time. We're just going to drop it, move on. But Vanessa, you know, goes back to the beginning where she just cares about her clients, that she was able just to do the research. She has all the connections because they're in that network, and they were able to
Hmm.
get this case at this 19-year-old. Normally, there are a lot of people that would just drop it,
Yeah.
and she didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Honestly, it's really sad. So the more I think about it, the more I see what's going on out there. I'm like, if I can just like really push the consulting side of things and bring my experts, bring my team, bring the network and collaborate, right? Like it should be the law firms against the insurance companies, not law firms against each other. Like, no, there's plenty of work to go around for everyone in on the medical, on the legal side. But if we can come together and collaborate and know the same tricks, the same strategies, and fight against the insurance companies, I think that's a good thing. You know, like they need to know who Utah is and that we're willing to fight for our clients.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
100%. How do you help kind of bridge some of those gaps? Like you said, if we can get the right people in the room, how have you been able to do that with your consulting?
So well, I'm working on that.
Okay,
So
so work in progress.
I've done a lot of one-on-one, and so I feel like now I don't have a lot of time to be able to do that. So my next plan would be to start doing like webinars and things, possibly getting accredited to offer CLE credits to the law firms, the lawyers, right? So it'll be another incentive and worth their while, of course, the education as well. But being able to bring on our experts, even like with Deseret Counseling, right? I've told Jimmy this. There's been cases that um, I they hired me for consulting. I went in, I kind of looked at some stuff, and then there was a one specific case where it was a rollover, and I'm like, there's no way this girl can be fine. I spent a little bit of time on the phone with her, maybe 20, 30 minutes. She cried her heart out. I knew everything about her life and how this impacted her. She was a high school student when this happened. Her medical specials were not high, but I knew there was trauma. I watched the body cam video of the officer on scene, and you could see her just like trembling, and she couldn't even speak. It was horrible, you know, what she had just went through. And so I thought there's no way she can be mentally stable. Well, they thought she was done with her treatment, and I said, no, you're not going to, like, this case is worth the full limits, and they weren't getting that. So I said, I think she should seek mental counseling because she needs it. Like, she's not okay. She hasn't overcome this. It still affects her till this day. Sent her into Deseret. She did some treatments. She was feeling a lot better, but then we painted that picture, right? Like how this affected her academically, her employment, her household, literally all of the things. And anyways, it was incredible. So yeah, being able to do webinars with the experts in the industry that can show like, here's what we can do, here's how we can help the client, and also help build the case at the same time.
Yeah. That's super smart. As you're kind of bouncing around and talking to a variety of different people and learning more and more all the time and expanding your business, what are some of the trends or changes you are seeing in the personal injury industry, and how are they kind of affecting law firms?
I would say with insurance companies, one specifically who I cannot stand, and everyone knows who it is right now, but they've been
I know. You
difficult.
want a name drop?
Okay, it's State
Yep.
Farm. If you have
I was
State
gonna,
Farm,
I was gonna
like,
say it rhymes with hate farm, so
oh my gosh, they are just
they're the
terrible.
worst.
And so it's right, it's great if you have them and they're on your side. However, for law firms right now, that's a big challenge, right? Because they are giving lowball offers. I called the other day to like the insurance department. I'm like, what can we do? Because this is becoming an issue. And I feel like they're just forcing us into litigation with their low offers. It's really unfair, to the clients because they want to get the case settled. And we're just getting the runaround, getting crap offers, and they're literally just forcing us into litigation. Well, what that does too is sometimes the clients they're overwhelmed, they're stressed, they're frustrated, they want to put it behind them,
Yeah.
they just want to be done and close the case. So there are times that the clients are like, well, you know what, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go forward with litigation. So let's just take the highest number and let's get it done. Well, what does that do? That's now showing State Farm they can offer, whoever the company is, like that they can offer lowball offers, and sometimes they're going to be taken and they're winning, right? Because not all the time the clients want to proceed with litigation. So that's a big challenge that I've seen a lot lately, a lot.
So
And the laws. Let me say one thing. I
yeah,
saw Kurt popped on here, which Kurt's
Yeah.
amazing, and
he's
he
amazing.
does a lot of stuff up at the Hill, which I think is incredible. And like, my gosh, it's admirable. But with that being said, like, it's a big deal to be involved in what's going on, who you're voting for, what's happening, right? Because all of that stuff, we might not think about it, but if you're in an accident tomorrow and we have to go by what the law says, right? It's not like we just get to say, hey, this is going to happen because we said. No, we don't get to choose that. It's what does the law say? Where are the caps at? Just everything is ran by that. So if you want to make a difference for your community, I think it's important to get out there and kind of be a little bit more involved in that area.
Yeah, I love that because I do believe there's a fair amount of people that think, oh, and maybe naive to the fact that some of the decisions they're making when they're casting their votes could affect things all the way down the line, even to something as simple as like how much could I be getting paid if I'm in an
Right.
accident. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize that, and so I think that's really again admirable that everybody's sticking up for their industry and saying, hey, we've got to do better for the clients. We've got to do better for the people who are
Yes.
affected, and so I think
Yeah.
that's very, very admirable. You said something that was really intriguing to me that there are a number of clients that are like, I just want to litigate, get the biggest number, and then bounce.
Hmm.
When there's probable cause to keep moving forward, how do you convince somebody to say, we got to keep going?
I think some things that I've used in the past is like, time's going to pass anyways, right? And it's money that you wouldn't have had either way, then or now, unless it was for this car accident. So I think it's important to look at it from that perspective. Like, you got your treatment, and what we do and the way we do it and the settlements that we're getting and the law. Case study that's going into effect, and people are seeing that later. If we're just settling for low dollars, great. It's not, yeah, it's good for them, they can get done, but just kind of telling them that, right? Like, listen, you can maybe make a difference. Maybe this will set the standard for the insurance company, and your case can help so many other people that are still down the line to come, right? So that time's going to pass anyways, and it's kind of money they didn't have to begin with. So, and not always, right? Obviously, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. Is it
Yeah.
even worth filing a lawsuit, right? Where are we going to be at with the time and the costs that are invested to hire experts and things like that? How much money is available? There's a lot of factors that go into that. So it's definitely a conversation that the lawyer would have with the client, and then make a decision as to, weighing their options out and what's beneficial for them in the long run.
Yeah, which direction to go. You said something intriguing a minute ago as well that we just kind of glanced over, but you talked about a law firm that you're helping, that you've been with for your oldest client, and when they
Mhm.
started, it didn't sound like they were even in the personal injury game.
Not at all.
Um, so how do you convince and how do you help people kind of make that shift and say, okay, listen, you can make a real impact on the personal injury side. Like, great, you've got a great clientele doing something, right? Some form of law, but let's
Yeah.
also expand your services to like personal injury. How do you kind of help bridge that gap and help make that like a viable thing for new
Yeah.
practices?
So let me start with saying, please don't just jump into it thinking it's easy money, because it's not. And there's a specific way to do it. And when you don't do it with the right intentions and the experience, well, not the experience, but like the knowledge and the support, you can be ruining people's lives. And I've seen it. I've seen it so many times. It's like this woman that had a miscarriage and they were trying to settle for like, you know, ridiculous. Anyways, so that's a
Good
huge
filter.
disservice to the community. Huge disservice. So if that's something that people are thinking about, I think it's important to get out there, gain some knowledge, follow these huge trial lawyers, right? There's a lot of huge trial lawyers you can get amazing content from. There's tons of educational websites that you can follow as well and learn and kind of know a little bit before you get into it, because otherwise you're going to go in blind and you're not going to know what to do, right? I think that's where I come in and I can say, hey, I've done this before. Here's thousands of templates that we can implement. We can implement the software, literally everything from like A to Z. Here's how you build a case. Here's what this document does. Here's these resources that you have. Here's these clinics. Here's literally every single thing you need to set you up for success, right? Success for your clients and success for your law firm.
So you get to walk in and act as a mentor to some of these law firms when they're saying, hey, we want to move into the personal injury space. How many hundreds or thousands of hours can you save people when they go to make that jump?
Oh my gosh. I mean, think about it. I have 16 years of knowledge right here that I'm trying to work on like a better way, right? To be able to get to more, which I mean, like a manual or something would be great. Same thing with these webinars and everything. I think those are great, but years. I've had contact with some lawyers that have been practicing for 14 years and they still aren't even to where I'm at. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe you're still here. It's so sad, but you know what? It's okay. I'm here to save the day.
Yeah.
So, we can shave off a lot of years. And by the way, this law firm that I was talking about, I see them ahead of a lot of other firms that have been practicing for a much longer time. And it's because of the way I've implemented things and the knowledge I have that took me years to get where I'm at, right? But I feel like, you know, it's difficult and there's no judgment here because lawyers go to law school to become lawyers and they go solo and then they turn into business owners, HR, office manager. I mean, they're wearing all the hats. So sometimes it's hard for them to invest more time in their education. It's hard, you know, it's hard to work in the business and on the business when you have so many things going on. So
One of the trickiest plights of an entrepreneur, right? Working in and on the business at the same time. And
yeah,
there's 100% wisdom in finding mentors or people that can erase those years that they will need to get to the next level, right? You can basically
yeah.
come in and alleviate that, which is so neat. Um, you talked a lot about kind of continuing education, you know, from the lawyer perspective. What are some things, and you kind of briefly mentioned on this already, but what are some things that you do on the regular to stay up to date on, let's say, you know, maybe new laws or building relationships with, you know, between doctors and patients and lawyers and all the people you have to deal with? How are some of the ways you balance your time and how do you make those connections?
Oh my gosh, balancing time. Whew, what is that? It's so difficult, but you know, I think it's important to build relationships in your industry because laws change, right? All the time. I remember when like the minor settlement, those can take some time with the pleadings and doing a hearing and everything. And so the laws had changed. And I remember I was in discussions with this lawyer and we were talking about it and that came up. And so it was really nice because it's like, oh, wait, we don't have to waste our time doing all of the paperwork because now with this new law, you know, there's this exception or whatever. So I think it's important to have, you know, have friends and your colleagues, right? Build that network with people that do what you do and be able to support one another. This year, the law changed the insurance liability, the minimum to 30,000. Well, I'm still talking to some firms that don't know that. And I'm like, listen, if it's a new policy that is bought after January of this year, like the limits have changed, right? If it's a former policy from last year, we're going to start seeing a lot of renewals coming up. But it's important to know those things. So I like to share the knowledge. Like if I'm talking to a colleague, like, hey, did you hear this? And likewise, I mean, it's reciprocated, right? Like how can we support one another How can we help each other? How can we, like, if we need to share documents or whatever it might be. So I think it's important to build your network. We host networking events for lawyers and providers. Those go a long ways, and I see relationships that are made at these events, and like the continued like friendships that become of it, you know, and it's amazing. I love it, and I encourage it. Again, for the same reasons, with even with the doctors, like, hey, how are we doing with the patients? Maybe what are they looking for? What feedback are we getting from the insurance companies? And that's things that maybe can be helpful to them in while they're doing their treatment. Of course, number one priority is always the client, right? Getting them better, but also, you know, what do the records look like? What kind of pushback are we getting in certain areas, and be able to voice that and discuss it together so that we can again come together as a community for the clients.
Yeah. And this is going to be a no-brainer question. I already know the answer to it, but I want to get your take on it because, and I love to ask this to entrepreneurs. How important for you is networking?
Number one, like number one out of everything, because I've had, you'll look at my Instagram, it's very boring. There's nothing going on there. I don't really ever post anything. I'm not ever like digital marketing. I don't have any ads. I don't spend on like zero. Guess where it all comes from? It's all organic. It's all organic. Why have I been successful in that? Networking, like networking to get the clients, just out. You do good service. You do, you know, you do good, and the blessings just come and they come and they come, and people learn that you know how to do good business, that you truly care, and it goes a long ways, which honestly with the Lien Care company, we same thing. It's like I just plugged right in because I'm like, I already work with the law firms. I already work with the doctors. I've added more, and I don't even, I have law firms calling me. I have doctors calling me. I'm not out there seeking, which I'm super grateful for. I'm very blessed. But it's nice, you know, it's nice. So yeah, networking is, for me, it's been like, that's what has got me where I am today. Networking,
And you know, I
definitely.
was gonna say with her networking, I've gone to a couple of them, and I formed awesome friendships from her networking with other people in the PI industry and people that refer to me. But I've developed awesome friendships because I've gone to her networking, just the people that she brings in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really cool
I,
people.
yeah, I saw some of your Instagram posts. I'm like, yeah, you guys got to get, I think I saw you guys, you were supposed to be working, but you were out like playing Top Golf or something. So like, I don't know if that's
Yeah.
like, if that's payback or
Yes.
more and it's your
Like
networking event.
you know what? Here's the thing. I think it's important to, because a lot of people think of like lawyers as like, oh, they're in suits and they're
Yeah.
just like boring, you know?
I mean,
And
some
so for
are, let's
me,
be honest.
true.
If the
But
shoe
for me, it's
fits.
like, let's get real. Like, let's really get to know each other in a relaxed setting. Let's have fun together. Let's laugh. Let's like know each other, right? And I feel like when you get to know someone, you build trust, the relationship strengthens, and then you feel comfortable in sending referrals over, right? Um, I mean, you do that, right? With you do business with people, what do they say? People you know, like, and trust.
Yep.
So I think it's really important.
Well, and you hit the nail right on the head because I think so many people get um, the nice thing about a setting like that is they let their guard down just a little bit,
Mhm.
right? You start to play a little bit, you have fun, and it's just everything comes down. There's no ulterior motives other than hey, I want to get to know you,
Yeah.
and build
Right.
relationships, and I think that's really really neat. I read a book recently, well, actually, it's a podcast about a guy that was saying, "Hey, I had to get into the right rooms, right, to make
Mhm.
happen my dreams, to make my reality possible." Tell us about a time when you had to get into the right room to maybe get your foot in the door, and
Oh,
how did you get into that room?
I have the exact, oh, it like literally just popped in my head. So Um, years ago, when I felt like I needed to educate myself more and get out there, and I'm like, Utah's just boring and it's dull and like nothing's happening, and I feel like I'm stagnant. Like, I want to learn, I want to be better. How can I do that? So I followed this group. It's called Women in Travel. Wait, yeah, Travel Lawyers Summit, something like that. WITS. And I was following them. I got an email. It was an invitation to the Game Changers Summit, this huge, huge conference. They had it in Atlanta, Georgia, I think it was Atlanta, Georgia, at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It was incredible, massive. I went alone, by the way,
Okay.
completely alone. I don't know, there had to have been like thousands of people. David Goggins was a speaker, Camille Vasquez. It was incredible. And I went to go thank her because I had never met her, the woman who donated these tickets, or they were donated to her and she shared them, right? And I met this other woman, and Rosa, I hope you see this and I love you. And also Lauren, thank you guys so much. But I went to say thank you. I introduced myself and she's like, hey, you should come have dinner with us. And so here in Utah, there's not, I don't know many women in the industry and lawyers. It's very different. The culture is very, very different in other states, right? So anyways, I was surprised that it was a few tables full of women lawyers. And I'm like, this is so unusual. And they were super cool. It was a super relaxed environment. And I'm like, this is my thing, like right here, this is it. And so ever since then, so that door opened, and then I go to all these conferences. We all kind of get together every time we go. So it's a lot of fun because we get to travel, we're educating ourselves, and we get to have so much fun. So that was, I felt brave for that, right? Like not knowing one single soul and just saying, I'm going for it, I'm going to learn. And it really has helped me till this day, which again, the conferences, learning from a lot of the trial lawyers out in California, primarily reading some books that they've published, and it's been incredible.
I love that. That kind of backdoors into a conversation I wanted to have with you. A lot of entrepreneurs practice things like manifestation, visualizing, I can't say that word, Jimmy. Visualization, not my word, but that's okay. You know what I'm talking about. Do you inherently do any of that in your business? Do you take time, or even in your personal life, do you take time to say, this is where I'm at now, this is where I want to be, and I'm going to envision myself getting there?
Absolutely. Like if you don't have a goal, what are you doing? Right. So that's how I see it. Like, then where are you going? It's like telling you, hey, go to this destination. What's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to map it. You might see how far it is. You're going to look at the directions that are going to navigate you to that destination. But if you don't have that, what are you doing if you don't have a destination? So absolutely. Which, speaking of, one of my big goals when I was younger was to buy commercial property. And I finally did, and it was incredible because then I'm like, then I can have my office space here. I don't have to pay. I can get a tenant to, all the good things. So yes, I believe that it's very important in life and in business, in both, and to always be evolving. We can always learn. I had this conversation earlier with someone who I'm super proud of, from where they were and where they are today. And I'm like, dude, like you should be proud of yourself. Like you've come a long ways, and I've seen the growth. I've seen it. I've seen your results. It's incredible. Like I'm so proud. And no matter what, even if we think we're good, and we are, there's always ways to be better. There's always ways to evolve, to learn more, right? So I mean, that's super important too, is to educate ourselves.
I do think I'm going to use that for my new quote now. You said, if you don't have goals, then what are you even doing? I think like I'm going to put that on a poster
Literally.
like behind me. What are you
I
what are
mean,
you even
right?
doing?
Tell me I'm wrong. Like,
Not even a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
If you're going fishing without planning on catching a fish, then you're just kind of sitting there doing nothing. You're bored.
Jimmy and I
There you
literally
go.
talked about that, I think, last week. We were like, even if, let's assume you set really big, I call them a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal,
Yeah,
and you set one of those and you don't attain it, you are going to look incredibly different at the end of that journey than at the beginning of it. And so I'm a
yeah,
huge proponent of setting goals, long term, short term, long term. I'm a huge proponent of it because you're going to end up looking different than you currently do.
yeah,
One thing that we've noticed with a lot of entrepreneurs is they're obsessed with how they spend their time. Personal time, work time. Jimmy and I have got a really interesting, unique morning schedule where we're weirdos. We get up and work out at 4 in the morning over at the Vasa. What is there some specific daily routines that you implement to help you be successful throughout the day or throughout the week?
yeah, there is. So I'm with you guys on that one. It's kind of a new journey for me, but wake up, there's like with like faith and spirituality, that's like the number one go-to. And journaling, and then the gym, and that's like all at 5 in the morning. So it's an early day, you know.
Yep.
But you feel good. So yeah, so doing that, obviously with managing the two companies and having to prioritize, like, what are we doing here? Because you want to be able to get cases in, but you also need to get things out. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
yeah, it's really important. So I'm implementing some new things because I think I could use some help with like structure, time management, getting things a little bit tighter, because you only have so many hours in a day. So I have that, and then it's like go home every day except Thursday. So good thing you guys said this for today.
Yes.
Every day besides Thursday, it's like sports or something with the kids. And so the home life is really busy. Hence the reason I do those things in the morning. Plus, it's a great way to start your day. I mean, you feel so good. It's like 7 o'clock and you're like, I'm already done with so many things by 7, you know?
Yes.
So it's really nice.
The
What?
world feels a lot better when you get up early, 7 o'clock, and you're like, do you know, I've gotten so much done and the world's not even awake
Yeah,
yet.
it's nice. I love it.
Not even up and moving. I love that. Jimmy, we're going to come to you here in just a minute for your mental health moment. But one thing that I love to do, and I don't want you to go into specifics, but part of the reason that we do this podcast is to help people understand there are a variety of ways that you can make money, that you can make a living, you can follow your passions, you can do things that you want to do, and you don't have to like stick to what the man is telling you to do, the 9 to 5, and just destroy your life working for somebody else. You control your own destiny. And so one thing I like to do is dive a little bit into, and I don't want you to reveal specifics, but how much
Yeah.
money can be made in your industry? If you're like, you know what, I'm going to go all in, I want to do this thing. What is a, let's say, beginning paycheck, and then knowing that you've been in it for years and years and years, what is kind of the I don't want to say the sky's the limit, but what's the upper end of that kind of pay scale?
It's been it's been it's been so abundant. Like I don't even know how to say. It's like I remember the first time that I made in 1 month what I would make in 1 year, and I'm like, are you kidding? Like with way more freedom, with so much more fulfillment, with so much more happiness, more time for my kids, for my family, for me to do the things I want to do, and knowing I'm making a bigger impact in spreading myself, right, with being able to help people gain more knowledge and stuff. So kind of started there. That was like a big eye-opener success moment. Like, I cannot believe this is where I'm at. To, I mean, I know that even on a couple good months, I'm making what some lawyers make in a year, which is insane. So it's been very abundant. I'm very grateful, very
Like,
blessed.
I
like,
want to add on to that too, if it's okay, Vanessa, and
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, is yes, she does really well on these months, but her company that she has, it takes a lot of risks too.
Oh,
So
yeah. Well,
she's
by the
holding,
way,
go
yeah,
ahead.
I haven't even, there's been, for me, not yet, because it's a brand new company, the funding, no money has come in from that yet. I
amazing.
have not received one penny. So I'm like, yeah, I'm paying staff, I'm getting this stuff
Yep.
done. Um, but I know it's going to come. It's like that seed that you planted, and you know it's going to be so incredible in the future. So just wait. I mean, I'm telling you guys what it's been just with even consulting, and imagine when that starts flowing through.
Well, you
It's
get
going
to
to be
pay for
incredible.
sushi next time
Yes.
when that money starts coming in.
You got
What
it.
what what would you tell people that are right on the precipice of making that leap and they're nervous about saying, you know, I'm going to leave this 9 to 5 that has been pretty, you know, reliable for me and breaking out onto my own? What would be that one piece of advice where you're just like, just go? Like, what's that? What's a piece of advice you have for them?
Um, so here, number one, don't just be like, I'm doing this. Like, have a little bit of backup money. Number one, have a little cushion, right? Have something already in play, like that you might already be working on the side. So if there's something that you want to do, start doing it on your spare time, right? Instead of sitting home watching TV, eating potato chips or something, start investing your time into that thing that you really want to do. Start putting your name out there, letting people know what you're doing, building that up on the side. That way, when you get to the point, hey, I've saved some money, I'm ready to go and get rid of this 9 to 5, 40-hour a week. Oh my gosh, telling me when to clock in and clock out, and go for it. I mean, trust in yourself, make a plan, be smart about it, know your finances, and go for it. Go for it.
I love that. Life is too short to not go for it. I've been reminded multiple times recently that this life is really short. There's a
Mm-hmm.
terrible trend going around on social media right now that, in essence, it says, if I'd have known this was the last time I was going to hold my kid, or this was the last time I was going to be able to,
Absolutely.
play with a friend, or hug my parent, or whatever. And it's just every time I see those, it's heartbreaking because I can think back to the last times that I change the diaper, which normally is like, yes, but it's like you lose that moment of your
Yeah,
life. It's changed for forever. And so, yeah,
absolutely.
life is too short to not take the risk. Take
Yeah,
the risk.
I
Like, there's
agree.
very few things you can't recover from.
Right. Well, think about it. I mean, in this industry, right, what I told you guys at the beginning with sometimes you don't get to meet your clients in the law firm setting because they don't make it from the car accident,
Yeah.
and you think like you just see that and it's just, oh my gosh, it's the worst thing ever. Like sometimes they're super young, they're children. It's just, oh my God, it's terrible. So yeah, I agree with that. Like, live your life to the fullest, do good in everything that you do, be honest, be about helping others, be humble, be kind, be giving, be loving. Life is so beautiful. And again, it's so short. We don't know how long we have here, so it's best to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I have a couple other questions, but they seem trivial after that. That was a beautiful way, I think, Vanessa, to kind of wrap everything up. Be kind, be loving, be mindful. One thing I love about you, and you can tell just from speaking, how passionate you are about helping and serving other people. And
Is
because you've done that, because you have such a light and a joy, people are drawn to you. You're helping other people get money they wouldn't have had otherwise. You're making systems and lives easier. And because of that, the universe is rewarding you abundantly. And I couldn't think of anybody better
Mhm.
to have it flow to. So congratulations on building a really, really neat business that is just helping hundreds and thousands of people on the regular. Just
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Super stoked for you. Well, we are going to wrap it up, but I don't know if you know this, Vanessa. Before we do that, Jimmy is one of the also a good vibe, high vibe person, good energy.
Yeah,
Always
kind of
has
got
good
that.
nuggets to drop for us. And of course, he's got a beautiful business, Desert Counting, where he is serving thousands of people on the regular, helping them become whole. And so I always like to ping Jimmy for some free advice and say, Jimmy, will you drop on us the mental health moment from Desert Counseling?
right. So it's going to go a little bit what Vanessa was saying earlier today. An opposite from last week. Last week I was like, okay, if you're having a hard day, notice the emotion. It's okay because we all have hard days. This one's a little bit different. End of the day, beginning of the day, write three things down on why that was a good day. Even the hardest days, they're still good. It could be a rainbow, it could be a flower, it could just be someone smiling at you. Take that time, write down those three things. And if you truly seek those out, the anxiety goes down, the mood goes up a little bit, and you're able just to focus on the true things that matter.
I love
Yes,
that.
I love it. Thank
Yeah,
you so
that's
much, Jimmy,
great.
for that mental health moment. Vanessa, thank you for being with us. Before we hang up and before we say goodnight, Vanessa, if people want to reach out to you and work with you, how can they do that? How can they get in contact with you, my friend?
I have links on my Instagram because we're on Instagram. If they want to go there, I think that's a good place to go. I have forms that they can fill out. We can do a one-on-one, see if we're a good fit for each other, if they're ready, if not, what steps they need to do in order to get ready. So yeah, I think that's a good
Okay,
place.
so because people won't see this live
Oh yes,
necessarily, they will see it post. What is your Instagram handle so they can ping that?
yeah, it's at the Injury Law Consultant.
At the Injury Law Consultant. Guys, connect with Vanessa. She's going to get you more money, make your life significantly easier than if you were to go
Yeah.
this alone. So, Vanessa, thank you so much. Congratulations on building a beautiful business. Thank you for dropping your knowledge on us tonight, and we will see you guys later.
Thank you
Thanks,
guys. Good
Vanessa.
Good
night. See
night.
Night.
ya.